Now, tell me about the healthcare course. That sounds interesting, especially in this climate when a lot of people in Washington are debating healthcare. And tell us what you're doing at the Retail Skills Center in healthcare.
Well, basically, there's a lot of opportunity in the healthcare industry, ranging from home care to nursing facilities and even major facilities like Trinitas Hospital. So this course is designed for people who are basically eager to get into this area, who have advanced English language abilities but they want to improve, and who are able to take a 45-hour class. So this class really is basically a starter for someone who just needs to brush up on their English and at the same time get some direction as to where to go in the healthcare area.
And what are you seeing? Are people moving on after the courses? Do they call you back and say, "Yo, Miss Fernandez, this is really a great help, and I thank you," sort of like a teacher, and they remember the effort you put in?
Well, the coordinator of the program, Vanessa Torres Holmes, has actually made some connections with home health agencies here in Elizabeth, and so a lot of the students will move on to, let's say, dignified home care here in Elizabeth, and they'll get their license so that they could actually become a home health aide. So they'll get a license from the state. And actually we've struck up a deal with them. The top 10 graduates from our program actually receive tuition-free training at their location. So,
and how does that go when they get the tuition free? That's got to be a big plus for them.
Oh, definitely, because it costs around $300 for a healthcare training course for licensure.
What training are you thinking of offering in the future?
Well, we want to definitely continue with our customer service and sales. We'll also have a customer service and sales class that has an ESL flair for people who want to get into retail but may not have the English speaking skills yet. And then we also are going to be offering a customer service for restaurant workers. So that's kind of our new initiative. It's going to be for restaurant and hotel workers. And basically these are really booming areas as well. There are hotels right around the Jersey Gardens Mall.
So there's been no effort to reach out and train hotel workers or restaurant workers at this stage?
Well, in the past, actually, there has been some effort. We've had people apply to go to the hotels, but we're going to make a more diligent outreach now.
That'd be good. And these courses, they cost money?
Well, for the taxpayers, they do cost money, but for someone who's enrolling, it's absolutely free. The benefit is if you live in Elizabeth, you're able to take this class for free. But if you were to try to take a class at Union County College on a regular enrollment basis, it would cost around $1,000. But due to the UEZ funds that have been made available to us through the city, we've been able to do it.
And how do you register for these courses?
Well, basically, you just have to come in with your proof of address or a state ID, and that would show that you live in Elizabeth, and we'll have you fill out a registration form.
And what do you think, how many people stay? What's the, once they get there, they usually stay, or do they say, "Ah, this isn't for me, I'm going to go"?
I don't have the exact number for you, Mayor, but definitely we have a great retention rate, and we've been able to just follow up with a lot of our graduates, and they're working all over, so definitely.
We're going to take a short break. We're going to come back and we're going to talk about what the employers are looking for and what other services at the Retail Skills Center, or maybe what the employers are looking for from you or from the worker in the next part of this show. Please stay with us. We'll be back with Julie Fernandez of the Retail Skills Center. Welcome back to our city, where I'm joined by Miss Anjulie Fernandez of the Retail Skills Center. And Anjulie, one of the things we talked about just before we go to the break is the employers. Now, you think you're training these people for a very noble and prospective future, but what are the employers actually looking for?
Well, employers are looking for people to be on time, to be upbeat, happy people, to have good customer service skills, and then basically people who are not afraid to sweat. They want hardworking people who will really go the extra mile. Especially in this economy, they have such a large pool of applicants. They really want the people who are going to be reliable and who are going to make the sale. We're going to bring in the customers. So those are usually people that are smiling and that are willing to do anything.
You know, you said a very interesting point there, on time and reliable. Oftentimes we forget that those two simple things are really important to an employer.
Right, it makes
in any
a big
walk
difference.
of life.
Yeah.
And do you stress that in the training sessions?
Definitely. If people don't show up, we basically will give them a phone call, but we'll also sit them down and we'll explain to them that right now this is their preparation for a job. This is their training ground, and how they perform now is how they're probably going to perform when they get into a job. So if they're looking for a positive recommendation and they want to get their skills sharpened, that they should start right now, because we want to recommend people who are really going to shine.
And if they're not showing up,
right,
yeah, that's a problem. And we have their board here, the Retail Skill Center, and the partners in the customer service and sales training. What other services are being offered at the Retail Skill Center? You talk about computer and resume building and job placement. Maybe you can go into some of those details.
Sure. Well, the resume building is one of our key services. We emphasize that every person that comes through our office either has a resume or develops a resume before they go into an interview. So a lot of times we'll sit down with them, we'll give them a resume worksheet that will go into basically their past job history, and then we'll craft one together so that they make the best representation of themselves.
So someone like you who has the ability to write, it's probably one of your strengths, correct?
Yeah.
You will then put like the right words next to the part of the job so it builds it up more.
Right. You'd be surprised. A lot of people, they come in and they say, well, I've only been a cashier at ShopRite, or I've only worked in a warehouse my whole life. But there's so many different traits and skills that are needed to be a cashier or a warehouse worker. Some guys learn how to operate a forklift. They have to be really fast-paced in loading the pallets with boxes, and there's just a lot of different skills that someone can show. Handling cash, handling a register, that requires precision. It requires also that a person can be basically trustworthy, you know, in that type of a capacity. Mm-hmm.
And Julie, the other services you have here, the job placement assistance, do you actually make phone calls and say, hey, can you use such and such a person?
Definitely. Whenever a manager expresses a need, we'll select people from our class. We'll even call past graduates who we know are still looking, and we'll assess them, and then we'll assist them with getting an interview. And at the same time, I definitely have made plenty of phone calls and said, hey, do you need anyone? This person looks like they would be great. And as a matter of fact, we had a young lady come in. She only had, I want to say, a summer heat position at Six Flags. But, you know, she had a great look about her. She was going to Union County College part-time. So I asked her when was she available, and I said, why don't you try going to Windsor? It's like a young women's dress shop, but you've got that kind of, you know, fashionable look. I think it would be a great part-time, and sure enough, she got it. So.
And it's because of your ability to size it up and recommend where the best fit with you would be.
Right, right.
That's good. And the computer training, how's that go? Are people as computer illiterate as me, or they come there and adopt it quickly?
Well, what are your skills, Mayor?
I don't know.
Are you hunt and peck, or
The good thing is I get to interview you.
As far as the computer training, we definitely have all of our students get on the internet. They also work on their resume. They'll do like a worksheet, but at the same time we'll have them transfer all that information onto the computer while they're in their training. So if they do hunt and peck, we can't guarantee that they'll be Speedy Gonzalez, but we do get them,
you get them going
in tip-top shape, yeah.